Hello and welcome to Two Girls in the Pod. I'm Sharon.
I'm Christy.
Hope you guys are all doing well. I think we're doing well.
I think so.
Well, doing much better now that change out that mattress.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know about you people out there, but if you ever get a mattress that doesn't work, it like kills your body.
Do whatever you need to do. Change it.
We actually went and got a massage the other day. And what did the lady tell you? What she asked you?
She asked me if I had been in a car accident. That's how bad it was. I was so jacked up from the mattress.
Horrible. Horrible. And then we go to the chiropractor too, because that didn't do enough. So we went to the chiropractor and he's trying to fix my left shoulder and same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now this ain't budging.
And you get it to move.
So life is good, people. Life is good. We can get up and, feel like you're walking around like a question mark and stuff.
Oh, God. I have to say I'm way better than that. Sleeping on a good mattress makes all the difference in the world. I feel like a whole new person.
And because we feel like a whole new person, we've been back to being creative again. But, because one of the things, it's so fascinating to me, and when I'm doing my job and I'm talking to my clients and I'll say, what are your interests? What do you like to do? What do you have passion for, or things like that? How many times they'll sit there and say to me, I don't know.
It's interesting. A lot of people don't. And I think that if you kind of go back to when you were a kid, it gives you some inspiration about things that you enjoyed doing when you were a kid.
Do you remember things you liked doing as a kid?
Well, sure. I've talked about skating. That was one of the things I loved when I was a kid. And well, actually, it's interesting because there are things that you do even when you're a kid that you don't realize can lead into something when you're grown up that you didn't even think about before, and different career avenues and things like that you didn't think about.
It's interesting because one of the things, when I go back and I think back in my childhood and an interest, and I think maybe all my siblings still have it, is we had a really strong interest in the stars and stuff because of all things, we had a telescope. It was gold. It was this old golden, tiny, telescope. But oh my God, we loved it. We loved it. And fast forward, I do have a telescope now. My sister Sarah actually gave me one for Christmas. Mm-hmm. So, I enjoy it. And you got me night vision
binoculars. Yes.
It's an interest of mine. It's something that really fascinates me.
Yeah.
So when people say to me, what are your interests? What?
I'm impressed that you remembered what they were. They're night binoculars, because you often call them your space goggles.
Well, what am I doing with them? I am looking into space. So her and my sister teased me about that. They're night vision. Mm-hmm. But I look into space with them. So they are my space goggles. Yeah. Other people, night vision, my space. See how she...
I thought that was pretty great.
But, I think those are the things. And, so my clients will say, well, do you know what you like? And they're like, yeah. Because I do. And that's something that I really appreciate is that you share that same passion. Mm-hmm. You really like it. We go out. We love the dark sky areas, all of those things.
Despite taking astronomy in college, because I didn't care for that class, but it was still interesting.
And I'm going to the planetarium.
Yeah.
And I love that the planetarium had a really great telescope. So we got to look at Orion's belt. Mm-hmm. See, those are the things I remember from college.
That's like the one constellation I can always pick out.
Cassiopeia. Mm-hmm. The Big Dipper.
The Big Dipper, yeah.
Few of them. But it's kind of sad to me sometimes when I'm asking people and we're having conversations, and it can even be with friends or whatever, and they're saying, I don't know what I'm interested in. I think it's because, when you have a job, it's like all this hierarchy happens, you have a job. Oh, well, that takes precedence and that goes up. You get married, that takes precedence. You have kids and that really changes everything.
Yeah.
I think our interest is about us. And I think that's another place where we kind of lose ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And it's really sad that people don't take the time to explore those kind of things. And sometimes it's not, maybe don't even realize what it is. I know that even through podcasting, I have learned more about different avenues and different things that I didn't even think about before as an interest, you know? So, I mean, sometimes it's just you kind of get thrown into something or that. I mean, we decided to do this, but it's kind of like you came to me and like, hey, let's do a podcast.
Yes.
Oh, okay. What should we talk about?
I don't want to talk, is what she said.
Yeah. But through that, it's really helped me. I feel like that the podcast has been really a growth thing for me.
Oh, absolutely. And for me too, because, I talk to people all day long, but this is still different. And we even talked about that, talking more about ourselves, letting you guys know more about who we are. Because oftentimes we're just really goofy.
We
Space
don't know.
goggles, no.
We don't admit to that.
But a lot of those interests, I mean, when we look at it, the other thing, of course, if you listen at all or on our YouTube page, I have a passion for mixology, but it's not just mixology. I love cooking. I love the blending of flavors and I love watching and I love the plating. I always tease my, not tease my niece, but she is so fabulous at plating and just, but when she was little, we used to watch cooking channels, she would come over and stuff like that. So that is so cool to me. Alicia Spiky, if it's not her interest, you couldn't tell it because she did these fabulous things for Easter for her kids' friends and stuff. They're like, oh my God, the creativity.
Mhm.
And if it's not an interest, it sure looks like one because, oh my goodness. And sometimes you'll see that work that goes into something and you'll know, oh my God, this person really loves doing this because it shows. You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
And what's cool is that there's a lot of different ways out there now that you can kind of cultivate something like that and put yourself out there to be able to try those different things in different ways. And a lot of people have started their own like YouTube for cooking and different things like that. There's blogs, there's all kinds of stuff. And maybe you're not even the kind of person that cooks, but you're still what they call a foodie. Or we have a good friend that's that way, and she likes to, she'll do little video clips of herself trying out a new food somewhere or something like that. And she seems to really enjoy doing that. So I think it's pretty cool.
That's when she's not reading or looking at books.
Yeah.
And anybody who listens knows, oh, that's Sandra they're talking about.
Yeah.
But that's it. And that's kind of cool because she has an interest in reading and we do. So we can talk books with her.
Yeah.
But when I'm talking to people, and seriously, Matt, when they're sitting there saying, I don't know. And I mean, we can spend a whole hour trying to find one thing they're interested in. And sometimes it's just really hard for them.
Mhm.
It just is. And I always tell people, and I think when you start exploring that, you realize how much of who we are we give up, that we aren't embracing and exploring and doing all of those things that are so important. I think anyway, that's, I feel like people should be doing the things that make them happy. But sometimes if you're not taking the time to find your interest, and I have a few of my clients right now, that's just what we're working on. They have to go and find something that they want to do, and then they have to commit to doing it to see if they will like it.
Right. And it's not always something, I mean, you may find something that ends up being something you do a whole new endeavor with, but it could also be something that's just on the side that you do for fun. I mean, there are a lot of people that I know now have taken up things like wine making and beer making and all of those kinds of things. Sometimes those things are just side things, and then sometimes they turn into something more. It's really interesting, I think, just to see how that plays out sometimes. I mean, it could end up being your whole new side hustle and you didn't even know. So,
Really?
and maybe you get to end up doing the very thing that you love, for a living, or you never know.
Yo quiero dinero would say that is the thing to do.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But I think that's so much what it is once again, we're not pausing. We are like always just moving and going and doing. And sometimes some people are so busy about the side hustle, it's not even about what they like or want, but it's whatever they think is going to sell or whatever. And I feel like if you don't have an interest or a passion for it, it's just going to kind of fizzle out.
Well, then it's I feel like something.
Then it becomes a job.
Yeah, it becomes a job. It's something you're trying to make happen. And that way, I don't think that that's what you're really trying to do. When you're trying to find something that you're passionate about that you can, just enjoy. That's what it's about.
Well, and I think the other really cool thing about interest is if you have an interest and you find those people that share, you're making those connections.
Mhm.
And, for us, the connections are so important.
Mhm.
And those interests do that. Like Lori loves to hike and camp and do all those things. Of course, if she, kind of funny story, she invites and does a group text to invite everybody to go on this hike with her. But it's a long ass hike, people. It's not like 2 miles in and 2 miles out.
Yeah,
It's like we kind of have to stay the night there.
day out, day back.
Yeah. So pretty soon, all areas are like, oh, I'm really slow. We'll go as slow as we have to
The
go.
slowest person.
This
Okay.
is her thing. She's just there. She's so accommodating. She's so cool. She'll stop. She'll tell us what's going on here because she's native here to Colorado Springs and that. And then what was your thing? What did you send her a picture of?
Oh, a folding porta potty. I was like, this is a must. We're gonna be out there somewhere.
Well, I was like, we got to send her a picture of a scene. We got to send her a picture of no. But it's so cool though, because, just needless to say, that hike did not happen because by the time we all stopped, kept whining and adding on to the list, we might as well just move there. So the answer. So we didn't get, but it's cool because she has that interest in hiking and exploring and doing stuff like that. And so that's something we can share with her.
And it's actually been a real learning experience. She's taken us to different locations that we didn't know about to hike and just beautiful areas to see. So that's been really good. And then also because she is native to here, she knows a lot of the plants and things like that. She is really knowledgeable about the animals and stuff around. And so it's good. It's been really cool.
So, that she started out as our realtor.
Yeah.
And what was really kind of cool is through this time, because we were difficult, I think, in buying a house or not. I don't know. That's
No,
probably
I don't think we're the worst.
we're not the worst. But anyway, that's a whole other story. No, but anyway, through this buying of this house, we developed this friendship with her. And, I'm so grateful for it because now this season's heating up because of our schedule being a little more flexible. We could get maybe more hikes in with her and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I think the thing is once again, it is through that mutual interest.
Mm-hmm.
So we get those connections too. And sometimes maybe your interest is some individual thing, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
But it's finding it and doing it and truly enjoying it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I said, I just feel like we are losing ourselves in all the conundrum of life or whatever, we're not prioritizing the way that we should.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is a huge thing. We talk about taking care of ourselves, but we're talking about, the mental piece of it. But I think our interest does that too. But it's not just about that. Sometimes it's our physical health that gets to benefit from that interest.
Right.
And things like that. And of course, our love of music and things like that. So we're fortunate because we have a lot that we shared interest. And then we have some that's not shared interest. Like there's some stuff she does. I'm like, I don't care about that. There's some stuff I do. But it's enough. We have enough in common that we actually like to still spend time together. I think the other thing that I really love that we have in common is we love to learn.
Mm-hmm.
We love learning about science and all sorts of things. They can be just random crap. And because I think it's more because we just like to talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
But that is really important. And it's amazing to me when I have some of the most talented, creative clients. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
It amazes me the work that they do, especially in the arts. Oh my goodness. And I tell them if it's an interest, and if art's an interest and it's something that you want to do more so, then, so I have one who's contemplating doing art and having a little Etsy store.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, then do it.
Yeah. And exploring it more because there's different, you may have an interest in say drawing or that, but there's different mediums and stuff like that you can explore on how to use these different tools and stuff that there are now. I've, wondered about like digital art and things like that and how they're done. And until you actually look into that stuff and learn how they do it, or see it.
3D art.
You have no idea. Yeah.
3D art fascinates me now because the one in particular who wants to do the Etsy store, they do 3D art and it is fabulous. And then he goes and he's the one who actually paints it and fabulous, fabulous work. and it's a talent and it's something. And if you enjoy doing it, then I tell people do it.
Right.
And in his case, I think he wants to make a little money on the side. But if it's not, if you're just drawing it for yourself, then display it. Do whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that interest is, find it. And the other thing that I think is so cool now is that if you have an interest and, none of your immediate friends or family like it or whatever, but you want to do it with somebody else, there are groups now.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, you can meet up with people. There's meetups. There's all of these places. You can now connect with people that have your interest.
All over the world. And there's a wealth of knowledge out there on YouTube as far as like how-tos and things like that. So if there's things that you want to see, if it's something you'd even be interested in, there's so much information out there on that.
Exactly. Google anything.
Well, yeah.
But no, you're right. If it's something that I don't really know, you can always go to YouTube and say, oh, well, does somebody do this? I mean, I think it's great that there are people on YouTube who love math. I don't even understand that whole concept, but they'll get on there and they'll do tutorials to help people who struggle with it. But you can tell their passion for it.
Yeah.
It reminds me of my college professor, Professor Kelso. Morning stats. Nobody likes statistics. Nobody except her. You could truly see her interest and passion in that. It almost made me want to like stats, but I couldn't. But her energy, you know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, this must really be fascinating. And now it's just statistics.
Yeah.
But I mean, even things like that, to have that passion. And I think when you see, even when you are engaging with those people, it's kind of like if you're doing a training, you can almost tell when the person really has a passion for it and those that don't. Today we'll be studying blah, 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 and you're there like, oh, this is going to be long. But then you have those, yes, and they're all, you can see the fire and the passion in them.
Yeah.
It's so, so different.
Makes a huge difference. You either have the sub that's there to get paid or you have the teacher that's there really fired up.
There you go. But it doesn't matter what it is, big or small, it doesn't. And I think that's kind of the thing that we're finding and we're developing more interest. Because, every once in a while you get bored with one, then develop as many.
Well, that's why I say, like there are some things that you don't even know exist yet that you just that's why I say even like with doing podcasting and that I feel like that there's just so many different avenues that I've learned about that are, that I didn't even know was a thing. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, yes. And, it's interesting because through our podcast, the amazing people we've got to interview and just hang out with and get to know. And to me, that has been, because when we first started this, we didn't think of interviewing, because when we first started, it really was more about mental health and how do we be mentally healthy and things like that with anxiety. So it was it felt very much more almost therapeutic. And then it was like, let's interview somebody. And then, it was like, oh my God, there's stories. So it's even been an evolution in that.
Yes. And I think that it's still all of those things play a factor in all of it. I mean, we always talk about the mindset and what it takes to accomplish these different things. And I mean, we've had so many different people, like you said, and some of them, it's just their side thing that they enjoy. Last week we had our DJ on and, she has her main job, which she loves doing, but she also does DJing and
you could hear her passion.
Yeah.
Oh
so
my
much
goodness.
passion for music.
And it fell in her lap.
Exactly.
And I think sometimes those things, it's kind of like when I have some of my younger ones getting ready to go to college. Well, I don't know what I want to do. I'm going to do this. And I say, yeah, we'll see. They'll say, what do you mean? I'll say, because sometimes when you're in college, you take that one class that you're supposed to take or whatever, or, you need that easy A or whatever you want to call it, everybody gives them, they take it. They're like, oh my God, I fell in love with this.
Yeah, exactly.
Because what they say, the average college student changes their major 5 times or something.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's the thing. And once again, it's because they get in there and they think, oh, I'm going to take this. And it's like people who will tell me, oh, I'm going to be a game designer. I'm going to do gaming and I'm going to do design games. And I said, well, why do you want to do that? Well, I love playing them. I said, playing is a little bit different. And then they go and they're like, I don't want to do that. I just want to play my game. So then they'll stream. They do a lot of streaming and stuff like that, which streaming is such a huge thing. And I have several of my clients who have done streaming because they just love it,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, once you get into something and you find out more about what it entails, I mean, I'm sure with that, it's, writing a whole story to go along with the game and what they have to do to maintain it. So,
Yeah, it's definitely not an easy process. I had another client who just got invited to go do rock climbing, had no interest in it, didn't even know much about it. Now every week with her group, and now she's got her group and she's rock climbing, and it has now become a really big interest for her. And I'm just there like, go for it, man.
Yeah.
Whatever those passions are. And I have some who have the passion and maybe somebody else doesn't want to do it. Or, when you're couples and stuff, and I run into this too. It's like, oh, I have this passion, but I really have this interest, but my partner or spouse, whatever, doesn't want me to do it or doesn't like to do it. So I'm not going to do it as much, blah, blah, blah. And so there we start losing some of that. I say there's a balance in that.
Yeah.
We can still do what we love and have a passion for, even in relationships.
Right.
It's just taking the time. I encourage everybody, find out what you like to do. Find out what interests you have. And if you don't know, go explore it.
Mm-hmm. That's the best thing to do because, like I said, there's things out there that exist that you don't even realize.
Oh, my sister likes spelunking. No way in hell am I going to share that with her. None.
Yeah.
Go, if you want to go crawl in a hole, that is not for me. No.
Yeah, that might not be the thing you want to explore if you're a little claustrophobic.
No. I don't even understand why you wanted. I am grateful that people go do it because we love to watch it until I'm there like, no, that's too much. That's too tight. Don't even want to watch it. Change the channel. No. No. Once again, I think it's cool that that's an interest. I wouldn't even think of that as being something I'd want to do.
Right.
We have friends who have our friend Kathy G scuba diving now. Nope. Don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You go for a girl, enjoy it, take photos, send them to me. I'm happy you're doing it.
Yeah.
Woo! We encourage all of our friends to do anything, but some of them, no,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen. But the cool thing is with all of these friends, we share so many other interests and stuff like that. Well, part of it is they share the interest, the fact that we're all therapists. And,
Right.
And that's another place that people connect is sometimes through your interest of your job.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for you. You've been around therapists this whole entire relationship.
And I still don't want to be one.
Yeah, she tells me I don't want to do that job.
I mean, billing insurance is, not, my passion, but
Thank God she does it well.
But I'd rather do that than be a therapist.
But it's funny because ever since I was very young, people have always they've come and talked to me about things. People have told me things. I could be in an airport and people share things with me. It's just the weirdest thing. So, at some point I'm there like, maybe I should just go to college and do this,
Right.
And I did. And now, like I said, 20 plus years, still doing it.
It's been very rewarding.
It has been. Once again, this is true though. And in all this time, because you've known me the whole time I've been a therapist, we've been together and stuff, but I've always loved what I do. So when people say, what do you do? I always say, I do the thing that I love. And I think that's why, 20 plus years, I'm still here doing it. And, I talk about retirement and that, and, I'm just sort of like, I don't know, they keep moving that line too. Remember now it's 72. So by the time I get there, we'll be at 92 and then 102. And finally, when I'm 125, I'll say I've retired. I don't know. It's crazy, but
you're feeding the wrong energy.
Or the flip side. No, and I think, that's what people think though. And I think that's why maybe they don't do their passions and stuff like that is because they're so busy saving for the future. And I think that's where, I can't go make that trip because I got to put that into my retirement, and we tease about that. But, our philosophy is do the things that you love to do and do them now.
It can.
because we have this moment.
Mhm.
We plan for the future, but in all actuality, we have this.
Mhm.
But I think we have too many people, and even some like that, they're so busy doing the future stuff, they're not experiencing life now, or they're experiencing life, and that's why they're in my office, because they're not experiencing what they can in these moments. There's anxiety about the future, or there's depression about the past or whatever, or things happening. But I think, and then not just my clients, I think just in general, and how many times we'll share, even our friends say, "Oh, no, I can't do that. I got to stay for this," or our family, once again, we're putting the things that have value to us on the back burner because we're sitting there like, okay, in 5 years, I can do this because I'll have this much time. So we've lost 5 years.
Mhm. We're so busy adulting all the time that we don't take time on the side to, explore these things and realize that they're important too.
And I think the thing is, oftentimes I hear that term, oh, I've got to go do some adulting. I adult all the time, but I just do it in a way that what you see is what you
You can still be adulting and have fun.
exactly. But I think a lot of people think that in order to adult, you can't have fun.
Yeah.
No, have fun, get out there, do it. And I think the message today for everybody is get back in touch with that child in you if you have to, or find those interests, explore those things. And through those explorations and stuff, sometimes you make some of the most amazing connections too. But though, when you find that thing that really resonates with you, it fills you in a way. I know for me, the things that I love to do, when I get to do them, it changes, it elevates that level of where you're at and stuff.
Yes,
So,
for sure.
so hopefully today you walk away with the message of being inspired to go and investigate,
Develop those interests and see where they lead.
yes. And hopefully along the way, you find those amazing connections and those people that you can say, I truly love them. They are my friend. They are my family now. They are mentor, whatever those titles are. But get out there. And I think, we got to stop putting ourselves on that back burner and forgetting about the things that really bring us joy and stuff, and worrying so much about our future or all the other stuff that goes on. And I get it, life is happening, but we determine if we're going to have fun while it's happening. And I think too many people are not making that choice. And so for everybody out there, take a moment, once again, explore, find something. And if it doesn't work, guess what? You got to go try something else, and then something else, and then something else. And it's an amazing journey. And it's one that I think is well worth it.
Yeah.
We hope that you enjoyed. We hope that you find that thing that resonates with you and you go out and you do it.
Feel free to share. We love feedback. You can find
Yes.
us on Adventures of Two Girls in a Pod Life's Journey on YouTube. You can also go to our website, twogirlsinapod.com, and you can find us on Facebook, Instagram. Follow,
Yes.
subscribe. We appreciate it.
And we're on everything, all those platforms.
All
which is great.
platforms where you get your podcast.
Yes. So yeah, and once again, if you are out there exploring, or if you have some interests that you want to share with us, we love the feedback. We really, really do.
Mhm.
Let us know. Let us know how you found your passions, your interests, things like that. We'd appreciate it. And so until next week, you guys have a wonderful week. Take care of yourself and find those things that resonate with you. They're super duper important. Anyway, bye.